thinking, how can we improve this? So what do we do next year? Just start sort of sowing some seeds, discussing it with people.
Hi, I'm here with Adam Hogg, who's the tournament director for the Nitto ATP Finals in Torino. The first question is quite basic. What does a tournament director do in this kind of events?
So the key sort of definition, I guess, of the role is to pull together all the different stakeholders that are contributing to the event. We're very fortunate here in Turin. We have a great working relationship with the Italian Tennis and Paddle Federation, who deliver a lot of the operations of the event, as you see. So working very, very closely with them, but also with broadcasters, the media, the players, and making sure that that plan to an event is successful across all of those stakeholders comes together in one piece. And then ultimately, once we're here on site, it's planning for and reacting to any situations that we have. Today being a prime example with the withdrawal that we just had earlier this afternoon with Stefanos Tsitsipas early in that match. So being the one that's directing what that plan is, making sure that TV are aware of what we're doing, players are aware, the crowd are aware, our digital channels are aware, and making sure there's a coherent plan in place and making those decisions in real time.
Yeah, and so I guess Matteo Gambuto you have kind words about him. He's a friend of mine, so.
He's a very good guy and works incredibly hard on this event, and a lot of what you see around me, behind me, he's integral to and delivers on. So no, a great guy, a real asset, really hard worker, and one that we rely on and can trust to do an impeccable job. So.
Yeah, and what is new this year compared to the last two editions?
Yeah, well, I think it's not even just the last two editions. I think you can sort of go a long way back, and it's kind of that mantra that for us is as to what this event means for us as the ATP. It's an event that ultimately we own, but it's also the shop window for us. So we're always looking to enhance the event, develop the event, improve the event. The world of entertainment, live events is incredibly competitive, and any event that becomes stale, should we say, you start having threats around attendance, viewership, consumption, engagement, etc. So for us, it's all about growing the event year on year. I think there's a couple of additions here, particularly this year, that are new. So somewhere probably above my head, just up there with my left shoulder. From a broadcast perspective, the introduction of Bird's camera here in the arena.
Seen that.
So flying around the court, getting some incredible shots, not just during match play, but when the player entrances, when the players are coming onto court. But also from the tournament perspective and the investment the FITP have made outside in the fan area, the fan zone has grown enormously this year. So a huge investment there, incredible level of sponsor engagement, food and hospitality offerings for fans, opportunities for people to play and get a racket in their hand and play on courts. So yeah, a really large sort of structural investment, but actually also one that just shows how big this event is and frankly just keeps people here in the tournament environment for longer. So rather than them just turning up to watch the doubles followed by the singles, they can stay for longer, and in the evening people from the city can come and enjoy the environment even if they don't have tickets, and come and, as I say, dine here, watch the tennis on screens, engage with all the sponsor content. So yeah, lots of developments. As I say, it's something that year on year, both ourselves from the ATP, but also, as I say, working with the FITP, we're keen to constantly improve and develop on, and actually one sort of winding the clock back, it feels a lifetime ago now, but on the Thursday, Friday and Saturday we had around 1,000 fans in the arena each day. So we had the players here behind me on centre court practicing, and for 9 hours a day we had fans in on the opposite stand, which the players absolutely loved. So rather than just playing their practice sets and the like in the build-up days, but actually also getting that feedback, getting appreciated, obviously naturally sort of sharing autographs and selfies and everything at the end of those practice sessions. So it made it a really nice environment for them in those days where obviously they're preparing to do their day job come Sunday, but yeah, just a nice way again of allowing more people to experience the event.
I think that's a great idea. We have a precedent in Torino when the U2 came here at the stadium to test the new tour. So they were not playing, they were just testing. All the fans were outside just to listen, and they came. It's famous. They came up. Bono came out with the pizzas for all 150
Nice.
pizza for 300 for all the people out there. So I think it seems you're also using this event a bit to test new things, innovate more here because you have full control. It's the one place where you have full control.
Probably, to be perfectly honest, more so our next gen ATP Finals rather than here. I mean, this is in terms of ranking points, it's the fifth biggest tournament on tour. The players have competed all year on tour to be here. We'll look to to provide some ancillary services here, particularly for the players and the coaches. So recently we launched Tennis Viz, which is a data analytics program for players and coaches. So, for example, in the player boxes, there's tablets so the coaches can see live data coming in during the match. It's updated after every point, so that's certainly an addition. But in terms of the tournament rules per se, should we say, then nothing changes there, because as I say, there's $15 million of prize money on the line, so it's
pretty
very,
competitive.
very serious. Yes, exactly.
And basically the player box is the area here where you normally see the families also.
Correct.
And where the team of each player is staying there.
Yeah, so courtside, as you say, sort of within 6 foot of the court, really. So that's where their team.
No, I have to say the venue, the court, everything looks amazing. So when you enter it's really, and the way you animate the show, I think it's super. I've seen it done in a bigger space from World Athletics. They're trying, but clearly tennis, it's a bit easier because the space, but it makes such a difference with the fans, I guess.
Yeah, I think the challenge now is, and kudos to them, but broadcast is so good these days. So you've got to convince people ultimately to open up their wallet and get a credit card out and buy a ticket. Because it's the view that you get from your sofa, where you can get a drink out the fridge, you don't have to queue for the toilets, you don't have to travel to the venue. It's really compelling, because in the last 10, 15 years, the quality of broadcasters, I think, has gone through the roof. So you need to have that compelling reason to say, come to the event. Get an experience here at the event that beats what you get on site, and that's really key for us. So we work very, very closely developing the show, the experience, call it what you want, here in the arena. Obviously tying in all the commercial requirements with partner exposure and everything like that, but also ultimately providing an experience that for the fans that's very different to what you get at home. You're coming to see a complete, as I say, ultimate experience from the 5 minutes before the players come on court, the build-up, the music, the show that we put together, all the way through to sort of the in-match activation. So it's, as I say, it's very different to what you'd get if you sit on the sofa at home. But hopefully and judging by the ticket numbers this year, supported by the presence of Yannick, of course, but an incredibly strong field. People of not just Turin, but internationally, a huge amount of international visitors here to the Nitto ATP Finals. People want to come because it's an experience and one that, as I say, they're frankly worth spending hard-earned money on to buy tickets for. And I think the moment you, kind of to your previous question, the moment you stop innovating, doing new stuff, not just for the public watching it at home around the world, but for people here, that's where it starts slipping off the radar of people's minds of that's an event I want to go to. So that's where you've got to keep it fresh, innovative, use the latest technology, make it an experience that people ultimately walk out the stadium at the end of the afternoon or the night and go, can't wait to go back there next year.
Yeah, to be honest, when we came the last year for the semi-final, I love the tennis, even if I spent all my career, 35 years, watching from inside, like you, sport events. But my 8-year-old remembers the fan village maybe more than the tennis itself, because it was fun, it was a lot of things to do. So I think it's almost double this year, can I say that?
Very nearly, yeah.
And not to be too positive or pushing the ATP Finals agenda, but ticket is really going well.
Or very, very close to a full sellout. So
and I can tell you because I'm from Torino, the city loves the event, loves what is going on.
Yeah, I think that's really noticeable, and just thankfully, I was just about to get out in the mornings to get a bit of exercise before we come here for the day, or driving into the venue. You can see not just the city engagement, of which there's a huge amount. So we had some fantastic events in the build-up to the tournament at the Piazza Reale, and apologies if I butchered the Italian.
No, it's perfect. You said it perfectly.
Other venues in the city, but the promotion down via Roma, the branding around the city, but also the activation by partners, sort of every bus stop you see a Lavazza ad or a Nitto ad or an Intesa San Paolo ad. So there's a huge amount. It really feels like the event has come to the city's embraced it and supported
and
it.
It's not an easy city. We're people from the north, not very friendly.
I'll take your word for that.
Again, that's at least the stereotype.
But no, we've had a huge amount of support, and it really appreciates.
I know you've been involved with the finals for a long time, correct?
I have we're working on it since 2009, so when it was first moved to London from Shanghai, and in my current role since 2014, so my 10th iteration.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
So what have you seen? What is the transformation that you have seen?
I think it's sort of coming back to what I said. It's this event for us as the ATP is it's kind of our shop window, should we say? It's an event that we own, it's used to operate in London, and now run in partnership with the FITP here in Italy. And for us, it comes back to that point of just continual innovation, embracing latest technology, providing bigger and better experiences for fans here. And as we were just talking about, particularly here in Torino, really close engagement with the city. So you're not just coming to a venue to watch the tennis, but as I say, the whole city, the events that are going on around it, before the tournament, during the tournament, it just feels like it just grows year on year, and that's key for us in terms of the engagement, the economic impact that it drives for the city, for the region. Obviously, for us as on the tour, the feedback the players get, because ultimately this is the players' end of year tournament. Yeah. They get treated like absolute superstars, but for them it's also a real privilege to be here. Look after them, not only the 8 singles guys, but the 8 doubles teams and the alternates as well, so that for them, their friends, their family, their teams, they get an experience that is not to say irrelevant to what happens on court.
It's a company retreat.
But we want. Well, no, I wouldn't go as far as to say that. But we want them to have a really positive experience, so that, frankly, come the start of the season, their thoughts are, I really want to be back in Torino at the end of the year, because not only, of course, there's a significant amount of prize money and points on offer, but actually it's an event that they love coming back to because of the way that they're treated by us, by the city, by the fans. It's very, and I think you'll see that tonight when Sinner plays Djokovic. How vibrant it will be.
Unfortunately, I can't stay. I have to be with the kids, but that will be an amazing match.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to ask is your job simpler or more difficult compared to 10 years ago? I'm sure it's different, obviously.
I think ultimately it comes back to that first question, which is making sure that all parts of the event are ready to go, particularly sort of almost from day one on Sunday all the way through to the event. The hard bits are the bits that you almost can't plan for and have to react to, and we have plans in place for what happened, for example, this afternoon, and turn that round pretty quickly. But in that side of things, I wouldn't say it changes too much. It's an easy year is a year where nothing happens, but I'm not sure that ever happens. So it's constant evolution, as I say, working with increasingly with, as I say, our broadcast partners, the FITP, the media, the players.
So maybe we can say what you deliver is more complex, but the tools you have to deliver have also improved. So in the end, it's been maybe more people, etc., but it's not dramatically different in that sense.
Yeah, I think it's the key for it also is just, it comes back to that always having that thought, particularly during the week. We're obviously very fortunate to be standing here, but also not just going, right, what do we need to do now, today, in the next 10 minutes, the next hour, tomorrow, but actually how can we just constantly be thinking, how can we improve this? So what do we do next year? We just start sort of sowing some seeds, discussing it with people, because it's a lot easier to think about it when we are standing here and can have those conversations than doing it over a Zoom call in April and everyone goes, I can't remember what did the venue look like? So
you know that this resonates so much for me, because I've always had the best, in theory, the best idea for the next thing when I was at events. Yeah. The problem is, when I was doing FIFA World Cup, it was 4 years after.
Yeah, exactly. You got a long time
to remember. It was like, why shouldn't I could have thought it 3 months ago, 9 months ago.
Yeah,
but absolutely, being here is where your brain works faster.
It triggers ideas. You can have those conversations, float concepts around, be receptive. I'm certainly not the only one that comes up with those ideas. Be receptive to others. As I say, it's a lot easier to do it now and go, how about that for next year? Rather than starting with a blank piece of paper in a virtual conference room in the spring. So
yeah. So one thing that understanding the complexity of this, can you tell me more or less who's doing what? Because I see a lot of things. I have a bit of experience behind the scene from a certain angle, but yeah, it would be good to have a view of who's doing what.
Yeah, well, there's as I say, a huge amount of kit around us as we stand here. I'm not sure I will name all suppliers, as it were, but broadcast perspective is ultimately ATP Media, our organisation that we're sort of incredibly close with as the tour, are the host broadcaster here. So everything that you see in terms of TV cameras around us sit with them and their responsibility, and supported by Gravity Media to deliver that operationally. And then some obviously bespoke suppliers like Birds, as I say, we were talking about previously. Within sort of the commentary boxes up behind us, you obviously have the likes of Hawkeye calling the lines, and our video review software, scoring suppliers. And then from a show perspective, we work very closely with Wasserman Experience to develop that, everything that you see pre-match, throughout the match. Ultimately, we kind of call it, and sort of become a bit of a cliched phrase, but the what, where, when, why, which is essentially every screen surface that you see around us, what's on it, at which time, why is it on it, what's the look we're trying to create, all the way through from the moment as we look around, the doors have just opened and fans start trickling in, all the way through to the moment that last fan leaves at the end of a singles match. We have that development of a run of show in terms of what content are we pushing out there, does it tick our contractual commitments with partners and deliver what they want us to do, does it deliver for fans, does it deliver for broadcast, and then working with the FITP, a number of their suppliers in terms of the likes of Informa Sistemi, Modo, a number of suppliers that help develop not just the kit in the arena, but the parterre boxes next to us.
And the ticketing? Is it like a ticketing for this event, or it's something?
Yeah, so it's managed by the federation.
Okay.
So they look after that, working with the venue. So.
And then obviously you have all your digital and social things as always. You have Tennis TV that is including this obviously event.
Yeah, Tennis TV is ATP Media's social media handles. So we have the tours social media that they look after, and then obviously also FITP as well, and then providing content to the likes of broadcasters, to the players, to sort of extrapolate that message and widen the audience. So.
And broadcaster are Sky and...
domestically, so Sky Italia and Rai, and then Super Tennis show a delayed match a day within Italy. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. So I kept you a long time in a long day.
That's okay.
With a lot of crazy things happening. So I'm sure you will enjoy the match today. I hope as an Italian that it goes my way, but whatever.
They're going to be loud. So.
It will be great tennis in any case. Thank you, Adam. Really, really appreciate your time.
No problem.
Thank you.